Okay, so a lot of you probably have something that looks a little bit like this, okay? So we've created our topo, all right? Notice that my building pad is situated so that the far left edge of it and the far right edge of it aligns about with where our main topography grade is kind of stopping and starting, okay? So we have our building pad. So the next step is going to be to kind of get the shape that we're looking for. To get this pyramidal shape is to create the massing, all right? So from my site plan view, I'm going to go to my site plan. All right, so I could see the building pad that I'm working with. Notice that I also kind of extended the building pad. All right, the reason why I did that was to kind of create a path that leads to the front of my building. Okay, so from there I'm going to go up to massing and site, and I'm going to click on in place mass. I'll save it in a few minutes. Hit OK, and we're going to create the basic rectangle for our building. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start my rectangle here. And I'm going to bring it right up to this corner right here. So I made it a little bit bigger than 20 by 40, but that's the width of my topography. All right, I could go back and I could alter the topography and tighten it up a little bit, but I'm just going to run with what I have here. So I'm going to make my initial rectangle. As soon as you make the rectangle, you can then click on it, okay? Notice that I am clicking on a continuous shape all the way around. If you're not seeing all of those points all the way around, you don't have a continuous shape. The only way that you would possibly run into that scenario is that instead of using a rectangle, you use just lines and you created your rectangle. Maybe you created a couple lines and you went back and created the other two lines. I don't know why you would do that, but sometimes it does happen. So I'm going to click on that rectangle, and then from there I'm going to click on create form, and then I will click on solid form. Okay, so by doing that, it takes your shape that you created, whether it be a rectangle or any other shape you can imagine. As soon as you create that initial shape, you want to click on it, click on create form, and then turns it into a three-dimensional element. Okay, so we know based off the assignment that we want the top of our pyramid-like cabin to be 30 feet tall. So I'm going to click on the top face of my massing. Notice that my building right now is my massing is only 10 feet tall right now, okay? So remember that when you're working with a mass that you can click on either the faces, you can also click on edges, and you can also click on points within your model to be able to manipulate it, okay? So from here, because I want this to be 30 feet tall, I'm gonna click on the top face, and I'm going to make that 30 feet tall, okay? So that's kind of our general box that we're working with, all right? So being that I want this to be pyramid-like, I'm then going to click on the this edge, the edge of my massing, and I'm going to move that in. So about like that. And right now I'm just kind of eyeballing this right now just until I get pretty close to what I'm looking for. I'm then going to select the other edge, and I'm going to bring it down to meet my topography, okay? So that's going to be the edge of the building, all right? So it looks like it may be just a little off-centered. I'm going to move it over just a bit more. If you want to kind of confirm that that the peak of your roof is actually in fact centered with your building, what I would do is create a section through your space. Go ahead and finish my mass for now. Looking at it in plan now, I can see that it looks to be pretty centered. I might just be slightly off, but I can go to view, go to section. I'm going to cut a section through my house. Open that up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and use a detail line, and I'm going to draw, look at that. Pretty much eyeballed that perfectly. Give me a round of applause, please. Just kidding, just kidding. So that looks, about what I actually want it to look like, all right? So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna go back to my 3D view. And from here, we have the actual shape of our building. Okay, this is what we're going to use to create our roofs and our storefront. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and go over to architecture, and then I'm going to click on roof by face. Okay, so notice that I've already created my roof system, which is going to be this guy right here. All right, and notice that if I just click on my face, I'll click on both faces, and I go ahead and click on create roof. Notice that the roof goes on the inside face of my massing. That's not what I want, because when I actually create my storefront, it will equally go to the extent of the massing. So they're going to kind of clash a little bit. So you have one of two ways to which you can get around this. All right, let me go backwards to get rid of our roof. So you can either leave the picked faces on faces at top of roof, and you can create a 1 foot offset, or whatever the dimension of the roof is. So if the roof is 14 inches, make sure you do a 14-inch offset. And then from there, I could go ahead and click on my roofs again and click on, oh, that actually it didn't work the way that I thought it was going to. Oh, I see why. I see why. Let's see. Actually, ideally, the way that you're going to do this is if you change this to faces at bottom of the roof. Okay? So you click on faces at bottom of the roof. You click on your roof faces and then click on create roof, and then notice how it created it on the top. Okay? So our massing is still located on the inside face of your roof line. All right? And you now have your roof. Okay? So from there you could go on, you could add some fascia. You could add fascia to the roof edges on both sides if you wanted to. So now the next step is going to be to create our storefront windows. All right. So from here, you could do curtain system by face, and you could click on the face, and you'll create a curtain system. Although when you do that, it's oddly what it will do. It will create some kind of goofy grid lines, which you'll probably spend a little bit more time trying to fix than picking a different solution on how to get it. All right. So for now, I'm just going to hide this massing, and I'm no longer going to get, or actually, let me go back one step. Before I do that, I'm going to create a wall for the inside of my cabin, because right now we just have earth on this as our wall. We don't really want that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to wall by face, and I'm going to select, we'll just pick a generic wall for now, that's fine. I'm going to select that inside face of my massing, and notice that it is now on the inside face. I can select that wall and now attach it to my roof. All right, so notice that I have a nice wall at the inside face of my massing. Okay, so from here, I'm going to hide my mass, and I'm going to draw my storefront in. All right, so I'm going to go to level 1, and I'm going to go up to wall, architectural, and I'm going to go to storefront. You will then need to manipulate it however you wish. So actually where it is right now, fixed distance of 6, vertical spacing of 6 feet, and a horizontal spacing of 3 feet is what I want. All right. And if I go over to my horizontal grid, I'm going to apply a 7-foot offset. The reason being is because I want 3-foot horizontal spacing, but I want that to be above 7 feet. Okay, because I want to be able to create a space for a door. All right. So from there, I'll go ahead and draw in where my glazing will be. I'm going to maybe offset it, maybe about 1 foot. All right, I'm going to draw it right over to the edge. It'll be about like that. To confirm its spacing, you can go up in 3D. You can kind of see how that's situated. I can see here that I need to move this all the way over to the edge like so. All right, and we'll have something that looks a little bit like that. All right, so obviously we know that it's not perfect yet, but if I go up and click on attach top to base, I can then click on my roof, hit delete elements, and there is going to be your glazing. Okay, everybody see how we did that? And you would just do the same thing to the other side. All right, so I'm going to bring back my massing because I'm going to create some floors on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and reveal the massing that I just created. I'm going to unhide it. All right, I'm going to click on that massing and I'm going to create some floors. Before I make the floors, I'm going to just bring the face of the massing to the inside face of my storefront. Why might we be doing that? The reason why I'm bringing that massing to the inside face of my storefront is so that when I create my floors don't go through my storefront. I want the floors to emerge on the inside face of my glazing. Okay, so from there, with my massing selected, which may be kind of hard to select. So if I actually select all of it, I can go to filter, and I'm just going to uncheck everything but mass. Okay, so I have my massing selected. From there, I can go to mass floors. I'm going to click on level 2. If you guys have already created your level 3, you would click that as well, and it'll also put in that level. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. It gives me my floor up at the top. I can then select that. If I can get it, this might be kind of hard. Let's see. Okay, so I can then select that floor that it just created. All right, and then, actually, let me go back. Let me go over to floor. I'm going to do floor by face, and I will select that floor that we just created, and we'll hit create floor. Okay, that's a little too big for my liking, but that'll work just fine for now. So I'll go ahead and hit create floor, and we'll have our floor slab. All right. Again, I can go and hide my massing, bring back my storefront, and voila. All right, so the last thing that I'm gonna do, I still haven't created my storefront over on the other side. I'll let you guys do that on your own. It'll be the same process as this side, but I'm just gonna wanna add a door. All right, so I'm gonna delete this mullion here, and I'm going to select that window pane, unpin it, and I'm going to go up and select my curtain door that I uploaded from the system. Okay, so there's going to be your curtain door. All right, so that's all I'm expecting for this exercise. If you want to continue to jazz it up a little bit more, if you want to maybe add a staircase inside or add any other additional elements, you can do that. All right, that's completely up to you. If you want to add some scenery, maybe we add some. Go to massing and site. We can click on site component. Maybe you add some trees. If you want to add a little bit of life around your cabin, you could do that. So these are 25-foot trees. That's completely up to you. All right, so that might look kind of cool if you're setting up a 3D view or something kind of like that. Any questions at all? Hopefully that helped everybody out.